everyone, my name is Nabiilah Dhiya Ulhaq from TBI 3B. Today, I'm going to talk about an interesting topic about words and their meaning in English. In this lesson, we will learn how some words have predictable meanings and meanings we can guess from their part, and how some expression or idiom have unpredictable meaning that we cannot understand just by we see the word. So, we will also talk about lexical item, which include not only words but also idiom, proverb that carry special meaning. This topic helps us to understand how English words are performed, how their meanings change, and why knowing morphology and collocation is important in learning vocabulary or learning English. So, stay tuned.
Before we talk about words, I'd like to tell you first about morphology. What is morphology? Morphology is the branch of linguistics that study a structure or formation of word in English language. In a simple term, it's about how words are built and how their parts called morphemes. And then we combine to create a meaning. And then we will talk about word. So, what is word? Word is the smallest unit of language that has a meaning and can be spoken or written. A word is a group of letters that has meaning. We use word to make sentence and express ideas. Now, we talk about words. When we talk about words, I'd like to tell you first about words as a meaningful building blocks of language. Words are the smallest meaningful part of language that we can use by themselves. When people begin to speak, they learn words first, not full sentence. Parents usually say, "She said her first word," instead of "she said her first sentence." This shows that our idea of language starts with words. In a daily life, we don't always need full sentences to communicate. Sometimes we just need one single word is enough to express what we mean. For example, when someone shouts like "fire" or "help," people understand the situation immediately. And then when giving commands like "go," "sit," or "stop," only one word is needed. Even on a shopping list, like we can just write like egg, milk, cheese, and people know what we mean. This example show that word can stand alone and still have a meaning. That is why words are called the meaningful building blocks of language. Let's say it's small but full of meaning. Word can also be organized in different ways. In thesaurus, they are grouped by meaning. For example, big, large, huge, they are synonym. In dictionary, they are listed alphabetically and we can see their meaning, pronunciation, and also grammatical type like categories, for example, like noun, verb, adjective, and other. For example, the dictionary says month or noun. Any of 12 parts into which the year is divided, they show that each word has a specific meaning that is not always easy to predict. Even native speakers sometimes check dictionary to confirm what word really means. In the summary in this point, words are the foundation of language that carry meaning on their own and are also the main element used to build phrases and sentences. Therefore, words are both meaningful, structural building blocks of language. The second point is a word as a type and word as a token. Another important idea is studying word is a difference between word types and word token. And then let's look for the example. Mary goes to Edinburgh next week, and she instead going to Washington next month. If we count all the words separated by the space, there are 14 words in total, but 2 of them to appear twice. This means there are just only 12 different words. To explain this linguistic, we use term word token is every time a word appears in a sentence or each individual occurrence, and then word types, the unique of general form of the word and the one list in a dictionary. In our example, next appear twice, so 3 are 2 token of the words but only type of word. It's like a books. If you have 2 copies of the same book, they are 2 token of one type, right? This difference is important because sentences are made of word token or every instance of word use. Dictionaries list word types or only one entry for each unique word. So when we talk about how many words are in a sentence, we must be clear. Do we mean the number of the token or all word including repetition or the number of type different word only? And now we move to the third point. It's about words with predictable meaning. Some English words having a meaning we can predict because their parts gives us clear clues. For example, dioeciously. Dioecious having a male and a female flower on separated plants plus ly in a certain way. It means that in a dioecious way. And then morphology or the study of word formation help us understand or create new words using prefix, roots, and suffixes. For example, unclintonish. It means that not doesn't like Clinton. After that, the Yeltonize remove Yeltsin's influence. Even if not in a dictionary, we can still guess their meaning because they follow regular word building patterns. Such words are morphologically transparent, meaning their structure clearly and show their meaning. However, over the time, meanings can shift. For example, like cupboard. Originally is a board of cups, or handkerchief is a cloth of the hand. So, not all predictable words stay predictable forever. And then we move to the fourth point. It's about non-word with unpredictable meaning. Some phrases act like single words but have meaning we can predict, called idioms or idioms. For example, it's keep notes on. It means that write down, and then keep tabs on, monitor carefully. Like other idioms like take a shine to, start liking, rise chain. It means that make trouble, or have a chip on your shoulder. It means that feel angry or resentful. Idioms can act as a noun. For example, like red herring, like irrelevant argument, white elephant, unwanted thing, dark horse, person with hidden talent. Some words exist only in an idiom. For example, an umbrage in a take umbrage at, meaning can also depend on collocation. For example, white wine, yellowish drink, white coffee, or white milk, like white noise or mixed sound, with a white man, like, which means that like skin for person. Proverbs are longer expression with metaphorical meaning. For example, too many cooks spoil the broth. It means that too many people cause confusing. A stitch in the time save 9. And then fix small problem early. No use caring over split milk, which means that don't regret the past. And then
the last point is a word versus lexical item. Traditionally, words are seen as a sentence building unit with a meaning stored in dictionary. But in reality, some words having a predictable meaning, or for example, like I said before, it's a uncleantenish. So some phrases have unpredictable meaning, like kick the bucket. And then linguistics use the border term like lexical item, any units or word phrase or proverb whose meaning is unpredictable and must be memorized. In short of this point, like word is a structural unit, lexical item is a meaning unit stored in the mind. By the way, not all words are lexical items, and then not all lexical items are single word. And now we move to the next topic. It's about words and their parts, including roots, affixes, and their shapes. First is about taking words apart. Many English words consist of smaller meaning units called morphemes, and then the smallest part carry the meaning. For example, like I said in the example before, it's about uncleantenish. Un, it's mean like not, plus clinton and plus ish. Ish means like. So uncleantenish is mean that not like clintonish. And that words can be simple. For example, one morpheme, a cat, and then complex word is like several morphemes. For example, helpfulness. It's a help plus full plusness. And then morphemes is not syllables. For example, tent, it's three morphemes versus catamaran, it's one morpheme. Morphology is a study how the morpheme combine to form words. Second, we talk about bond and free morpheme. Free morpheme is a word can stand alone. For example, help, run, and then bond morphemes it's must attach. For example, like it can stand alone, right? So, for example, it's a an, nurse, and full. For example, readable. Read is a free morpheme plus able, it's a bond morpheme. And then darkness. Dark is a free morpheme and then nurse is a bond morpheme. Then some words have only bond morphemes. For example, from Latin or Greek, it's like legible, audience, clarity. Certain bond parts appear only once, like cran in cranberry. We have talked about this before. So, called cranberry morpheme, no clear meaning. And then, the third point is about roots, affixes, and combining forms. Root is a main meaning of a part, like help in helpful. And then, affix is a add part, like prefix before the root. For example, unhappy. There is un before happy. And then, suffix is after root, like kindness. It's kind and then plus ness. And then some roots are bound. For example, audi in audi plus n, like the we combine like audience. When two roots combine or compound word like bookcast, truck driver, scientific word is used combining from Greek or Latin, like photo, micro, electro, photograph, microscope, and then other. So some letters become free words like photo, micro, and retro. Now we move to the fourth point. It's about morphemes and their allomorph. So a morpheme can appear in a different spoken forms called allomorph. Allomorphs. For example, the plural plus s has three forms like s in cats, z in dogs, and iz or ez in horses. The choice depends on the final sound, like hissing is I and Z, and voiceless is S, and then voiced is Z or Z. The past tense or plus ed also has three forms like T in the word, D in a played, and id or ed in wanted. Some words change by rule, like wife to wives with V, but not cliff, it's cliff. In short, allomorphs are different pronunciation, one morpheme influenced by sound, grammar, or vocabulary. Fifth, it's identifying morphemes without clear meaning. Not all morphemes are recognizing by meaning. The prefix like re in a rewrite means again, but in return it means back. And then thought they look in a similar, right? But they are different morphemes. Other forms like re, con, dus, and volve in reduce, produce, revolve show historical relationship even when the meaning are unclear. This shows that morphology studies both form and structure, is not only the meaning. And then the sixth point or the last point in this topic is classification or classifying words part. A morpheme is a smallest unit of meaning, like help, as, an. An allomorph is a variant form of one morpheme, like I said before, like as. They are three forms like as, z, and iz. Free morphemes stand alone, for example, like book, run, while bond morphemes need other, like ed, nurse, an. And root carries the main meaning, like help, move, and then affix is add before or after, for example, unhappy and kindness. From Greek or Latin, for example, like bio, micro, tele, and then allomorphy links sounds and structure. This show how pronunciation and meaning interact in the English word formation. Now we move to the last topic. It's about words and their forms. The first point in this material, we're going to talk about lexemes, word forms, and grammatical words. A lexeme is a basic word that represents one idea, such as perform. It can appear in a different word forms, depending on grammar. For example, perform, performs, performed, performing. These forms belongs to the same lexeme and show grammatical information like tenses or person, not about the meaning. When a change create a new word or class, its derivation, not inflection. For example, perform is a verb. Performance is a noun. Inflection change grammar only, while derivation change meaning or word type. Second is regular and irregular inflection. Inflection change a word's form to express grammar, such as tense for verbs, or plural or for noun. Regular inflection, for example, like follow pattern, like walk, walk, just plus ed, cat and cats, just plus s. And then irregular inflection does not follow pattern, like go, when, man, food, feet. And then when a form change completely, like go to when, it called suppletion. Inflection is natural in speech. We say he goes, not he go, to match a grammar. The third point is forms of noun. Countable countable nouns have a singular and a plural forms. Regular plural, we just add s or es. For example, like I said before, it's a cat, just plus s is a cats. Box plus es is just boxes. Then irregular plural, like change, like from child to the children. Child to the children, man to the man, mouse to the mice. And then some come from Latin or Greek, like cactus, cacti, formula. Like some do not change, like sheep is just sheep. Fish, it's still fish, called zero plurals. A few nouns exist only in a plural form, like scissors, pants, glasses. We say pair of scissors, a pair of for one item. We move to the first point. It's about forms of pronouns and determiner. Pronouns and determiners in English can change form to show number, like show number, cast, and position. Determiners like this, that, those can change with a singular or plural nouns. For example, this book, these books, that car, those cars. Pronouns can change by grammatical role. Like when subject, for example, subject like I, he, she, we, they. Change to object into me, him, her, us, them. And then in the possessive pronoun is like my, your, his, her, our, their. For example, his book, the book that belongs to him. Thus, they show three types of variation: number, case, and ownership. And then the fifth point is about forms of verb. Verb show tense and grammatical role through inflection. Most verbs have 5 forms. For example, give, gives, gave, giving, and given. Regular verbs have 4 forms because past and past participle are the same, like perform, performs, performed, performing. And then irregular verb change differently, like go, went, gone, see, saw, seen. The verb be has many forms, like for example, am, is, are, was, were, being, been. These forms express tense, aspect, and number, key parts of English, inflection, morphology. And then the last point in this material is about form of adjective. Adjective show degrees of comparison. Like positive, it's a basic quality like green. The grass is green. And then comparative, compares to, like greener. For example, the grass is greener. And then the superlative, it's like compares 3 or more, let's say, thing. Like greenest, the greenest field. Short adjective, just add er and est, like long, longer, longest, like 1 syllable. And then long adjective or 2 or more syllable, if we use most and more, like beautiful, more beautiful, most beautiful. And then some change completely, like good into better, and then best. We call it suppletion. This form help express comparison and make sentence clear. In conclusion, words in English can change their form to show grammar, like tenses, number, or comparison, without changing their basic meaning. This process is called inflection, while changes the create or new meaning of word, like change word classes to are called derivation. And then different word classes like noun, pronouns, determiners, verb, and adjective all have their own patterns of change. Understanding these forms help us use English correctly and express our idea more clearly in sentence. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.